I am Professor Dheeraj Kumar Singh from Department of Mechanical Engineering, Sagar Group of Institutions, Sistekar, Bhopal. Dear students, today we are going to discuss fundamentals of manufacturing processes. Let us understand what is manufacturing process. Whatever the artificial things we are seeing in our day-to-day life, whatever the products we are seeing in our day-to-day life, all these products are being made by some of the manufacturing processes. Whether the manufacturing processes are being made by the conventional manufacturing processes or by non-conventional manufacturing processes. In here, fundamentals of manufacturing processes, we are going to discuss basically the conventional manufacturing processes. So let us see how manufacturing processes is being described. First of all, we have to understand the basics of manufacturing processes. So here in this diagram, we can see this is a starting material, this is a manufacturing process, and here final finished product we can see. And here is some scrap and waste material. So let us understand what is manufacturing first of all. It is a process in which number of activities are performed to convert raw material, semi-finished product into finished product, and the process of turning the raw material into a finished product is known as manufacturing. So dear students, we can see the starting material is a raw material. When this raw material undergoes this manufacturing processes, in which this manufacturing processes includes some machinery, some tools, some power inputs, and some labor. So when this raw material undergoes this manufacturing process, then after undergoing this manufacturing process, we will get a finished product. We will get a processed product. And while getting a finished or processed product, we will have also some scrap and waste material. So my dear students, what we have to understand that while a raw material undergoes a manufacturing process, finally we get some finished product, and that finished product will be the product which we can sell in market, and by the help of which we can create health and we can get money. So in other sense also we can understand what is manufacturing: a sequence of operations and processes designed to create a specific product. Manufacturing word is basically derived from a Latin word, and that Latin word is known as manufactus, which means made by hand. Now come to the next slide. What is value addition manufacturing? My dear students, when our finished product get converted from raw material and undergoing some manufacturing process, then it added some value in itself. Then some value is getting added in this raw material, and in starting the value of that raw material is less, and when it gets converted into some final product or some finished product, then the value and the wealth of that material gets increased. So in this block diagram we can see that this is the starting material. So we are having some input as a starting material, and we are having some wealth of this raw material. So for an example, let us see that $1 is the wealth of that starting material or raw material. When that raw material undergoes manufacturing process, means that raw material undergoes some processing, so some value is added in that raw material, and when some value is added by the help of manufacturing process, that raw material gets converted finally into a processed part or a finished product. Now the value of that processed part or finished product is more than $1, right? That means our wealth of raw material now gets increased by the help of this manufacturing process. So this kind of process is also known as a value addition manufacturing. Now here students, we can see manufacturing process is broadly divided into three parts. First is shaping, second is joining, and third one is finishing. We can differentiate or we can classify manufacturing processes in many parts. For an example, there is casting, metal cutting, machining, there is welding, and there is forming processes. Sheet metal working process is also there. But here we have divided basically the manufacturing processes into three parts so that we can understand it easily. So first, in shaping, we can see the first point is casting, rolling, forging, drawing, sintering, electroforming, and machining. So these are the shaping processes. Now we come to the joining processes: adhesive, gas metal arc welding, TIG welding, gas tungsten arc welding, shielded metal arc welding, resistance spot welding, riveting, and screw and nut assembly. So these points comes under joining processes. And third one is finishing process. In finishing process, what we can see, first is polishing, second is electroplating, third is enameling, fourth is printing, and fifth is heat treatment. We will see all these terms one by one in the next slides. So here we can see, dear students, that classification of manufacturing processes, how manufacturing process is being classified into various parts. So first one is casting technology, second one is metal cutting and machining, third one is welding technology, fourth one is forming process, and fifth one is sheet metal processing. So in casting technology, we can see here some molten metal is getting poured into the mold cavity, and after solidification we can get that particular product outside the mold cavity after breaking the mold. So in second figure we can see the diagram of a shaft on which some machining processes has been already performed. So we can understand by this way metal cutting or machining processes. In third diagram we can see some welding processes is going on, and in fourth diagram we can see the processes of forming is being taken care of. Now, dear students, we will move on to casting technology. Now we will see one by one how casting is performed, what are the basic terminology of casting, what are the allowances, what are the patterns, how the casting process is being classified, and many more things like defects in casting, limitations of casting, advantages of casting. So many things we will discuss in casting technology. So let us understand first of all what is the definition of casting. Casting is a process in which the molten metal, that means liquid material, is allowed to solidify in a predefined mold cavity. After the solidification, the component is taken out from the mold. Dear students, casting is a process in which molten metal is allowed to solidify in a predefined mold cavity. What we do, first of all, we make a mold, and in that mold, by the help of pattern, we create a cavity. When cavity is being created, then we will replace the pattern, and when we have replaced the pattern, that means a cavity is created at the place of pattern. Then whatever the product we have to make, of whatever the material that product should be, so first of all we take that material and we will melt it. After melting that particular material, we will melt that material, and then what we will do, we will pour that molten metal into that mold cavity. After some time, that molten metal will get solidified, and then we will break the mold and we will take out the casting. So in this way we perform casting operation. Now we have to understand that what kind of applications are there in castings. So we are having many applications of casting. First, machine tool beds. We can make machine tool beds by the help of castings. Gearbox housings, engine cylinder heads, turbine blades, turbine housings, door handles, locks, outer casing or housing of motor. Casting is also heavily used in toy industry to make parts, example toy cars and planes, etc. So there are various applications of castings. Now we will move on to pattern. What is pattern? Pattern is basically the replica of the object to be made with some modifications and is used to prepare mold cavity. What is pattern? Pattern is nothing but the shape of our product. What kind of product we want to get finally, we have to prepare a pattern of that shape. So that's why here it is written that pattern is the replica of the object to be made with some modifications. Here is a term modification. Modification means nothing but the allowances, core prints and paddings. And then some of students will ask, sir, what is allowance, what is core print and what is padding? Dear students, we have discussed these things into the next slide. Casting materials are usually metals and almost all metals can be cast. Normally casting operation is being done on metals, and here it is written normally all the metals can be cast very easily. Now we can see some of the examples, some of the figures of the casting material, very intricate shapes we are going to see here. Casting is most often used for making complex shapes that would be otherwise difficult to make by other methods. So in figure 1 we can see this is the frame of an air compressor. This is the frame of an air compressor. The weight of that frame is near about 680 kilograms. In second figure we can see this is an alternator. We can see the complex shape of this alternator and we can make that alternator by the help of castings. In third figure we can see brick system elements, and the fourth figure we can see steering. So all these intricate shapes are being made by the help of casting process. Now move on to the advantages and limitations of casting. What are the advantages and what are the limitations we will have in casting? So first, advantages of castings. Complex parts can be produced very easily because the input material is in the form of liquid state. Yes, it is right. If our input material is in the form of liquid state, then it will take any kind of shape very easily. That's why it is written here that complex part can be manufactured very easily. Now the second point, the tool required for casting operation is cheap when compared to the other processes. Yes, this is the second advantage. Then third, we can produce any type of material that is ferrous and non-ferrous, brittle and ductile. And the last one is we can produce very large components or very big size castings can be produced by using casting only. That is, for an example, 200 to 250 tons. That is really a very big amount. Now what are the limitations we have to face in casting? First, mechanical properties of the casting components are not uniform throughout the cross section. This is the very big problem we face, because mechanical properties of the casting is not uniform throughout the cross section. That means strength of that material will not be uniform at each cross section or at each place. Second point, casting objects are not having a smooth surface finish. Third is, it is more labor oriented and time consuming process. Why it is more labor oriented? Because we have to melt the metal. So in melting any metal, it will take some time. We have to pour that molten metal. So more labor oriented. And why it is time consuming? It is time consuming because when we will melt the molten metal and when it will go into the mold cavity, then for solidification it will take some time, because it will not solidify very easily. For solidification it will take some time. So it is also a time consuming process. It is not possible to kit the casting without any defect. Yes, in any manufacturing processes we see that problem, because whatever with the manufacturing process, whether it is welding, whether it is forming, whether it is casting, whether it is metal cutting, we can see some of the defects are there. So these are the basic advantages and non-advantages or limitations of castings. Now we will move on to some of the important casting terms which we will use throughout these chapters. Throughout the manufacturing processes, throughout the casting operations, we have to use these important terms. So we will very keenly observe and understand these casting terms. First, flask. What is flask? A molding flask is one which holds the sand mold intact. It is made up of wood for temporary applications or metal for long term use. What is drag? Drag is the lower molding flask. Cope, upper molding flask. There is a flask in which we prepare the mold, right? So there are two portions, one is cope and one is drag, and there is a line which is called parting line. It is the dividing line between the two molding flasks that makes the sand mold. So third is cheek, intermediate molding flask used in 3-piece molding. Normally we are using 2-piece molding processes, but if we want to use a 3-piece molding processes, then we have to use cheek. Pattern, we have already seen what is pattern. Pattern is the replica of the final object to be made with some modifications. Then parting line, yes, this is very important. This is dividing line between the two molding flasks that makes up the mold sand mold. What is bottom board? Bottom board is a board on which we prepare all those things. This is a board normally made of wood which is used as the start of the mold making. Now, molding sand, the freshly prepared refractory material used for making the mold cavity. It is a mixture of silica, clay and moisture in appropriate proportions. So for casting operations we have to prepare the molding sand. So for preparation of molding sand we have to take silica, we have to take clay, we have to use some moisture, we have to use many kind of powders. So powders are also very important, right? So next is backing sand. This is made up of used and burnt sand. What is core? Core is used for making hollow cavities in the castings. Core, basically whenever we want to prepare hollow castings, then we have to use core. Next, pouring basin. Pouring basin is nothing but a small funnel shaped cavity at the top of the mold into which the molten metal is poured. Dear students, whatever the terminologies we are seeing right here, we will see all these things in some figure or in some diagram in the upcoming slides. Then we will very easily understand that what is pouring basin, what is core, what is cope, what is drag, all the things we will understand. Then sprue, the passage through which the molten metal from the pouring basin reaches the mold cavity. Then runner, the passageways in the parting plane through which molten metal flow is regulated before they reach the mold cavity. Gate, the actual entry point through which molten metal enters the mold cavity in a controlled rate. Gate is the final point from where our molten metal gets entered into the mold cavity. What are chaplets? Chaplets are used to support cores inside the mold cavity. If you want to prepare some hollow cavities, hollow objects, then we have to use chaplets to support the cores inside the mold cavity. What are chills? Chills are nothing but the metallic objects which are placed in the mold to increase the cooling rates of the casting. For an example, if we are having L-shaped casting, so when that 90-degree angle takes place, so there is less area. So the portion of less area, there the heat transfer rate is very less. So for increasing the heat transfer, we using chills. So cooling rate of castings will increase. What is riser? Riser is a reservoir of molten metal provided in the casting so that hot metal can flow back into the mold cavity when there is a reduction in volume of metal due to solidification. We will understand in detail what is riser in upcoming slides. What is binder? Binders are basically used in sands so that we can hold the sand together strongly. What is shrinkage? The decrease in volume when molten metal solidifies. So shrinkage is a very common phenomena in casting. Most of the metals, when gets converted from liquid to solid, it gets shrink. So this is the basic problem in castings, that for the sake of shrinkage we have to give allowances to the patterns. So that's all for today. Thank you, dear students.